Good morning, tribe. Welcome to Monday. Welcome to Thanksgiving week for those of you in the US. And I am really excited to be back home. I've had 2 trips to Vegas in the last 3 weeks. And this last trip, the GoPro event, it's an incredible event. It's also a huge, it's exhausting. Let me just put it that way, because your sessions go from 10 to 9 plus every day. And the only break you get is from 3 to 5. So, they have some, lunch vendors out in the big hall that you can go out and you can grab something to eat or something like that and watch, from the big screen TV so you don't miss anything. But it's a lot of information. And it's just almost more it's as mentally fatiguing as it is physically fatiguing, because I don't know about you, but when I sit all day in meetings and I'm learning, it's just exhausting. Plus you're in Las Vegas and you're on a time change, you've got jet lag, but we still had a great time. Obviously, if you saw, the energy in the room is amazing. There was 11,000 attendees from 100 different countries representing over 300 companies. Network marketing companies, which is really incredible. It's, there are 110 million people in the world that are in network marketing, which is, it's absolutely incredible. This is our industry. Network marketing is the industry that we are in. So I wanted to give you guys I wanted to recap some information, and I'm really just going through my notes. But number one, one of the quotes that really stuck with me is, "The world is not served by you playing small." And so throughout the conference, Eric Worre and the other speakers, they really challenged our thinking around our goals and our dreams. And are they big enough? It's like, I will tell you, the last thing that he had us do, I'm just going all the way to the last day, is he had us sit down and he said, okay, write down your goal for 2018. And let's just make it an income goal, because that's very measurable. Write down your income goal for 2018. Well, so we've been in this conference for 3 days. We already know that we should think big, right? We should think big. And so I'm pretty sure, myself included, we wrote down, a stretch number. It's like, okay. Then he said, now double it. And the whole room just gasped. 11,000 people just gasping all at once. We're like, ugh. And he said, so now you're going to tell me you don't know how but shouldn't I first wait to figure out how I'm going to do it? No. He's like, no. Hey, Tyler. And he said, you're going to ask me, well, shouldn't I do this or whatever? No. He goes, you just set the goal and then you figure out how it's going to happen. So I have a really big goal, and I'm going to tell you my goal because he said tell the world. So I set a goal, this is our goal, to earn $700,000 next year. Yeah, that's a whole heck of a lot more than I'm earning right now. Let's just put it out there. That's a lot more than I'm earning now. So that's crazy. And you know what? That's called not playing small. And somebody else might say, well, this is the number I think I can hit. No, that's not a goal. That's an expectation, right? So the world is not served by you playing small. And so that goes into all the things about, being afraid. The number one reason network marketers don't succeed is fear. And fear speaks to lack of confidence in yourself, right? The world is not served by you playing small. I think that's something that, maybe you should write and stick it on your computer or put it on your note, on your desktop, on your wallpaper or something, because that's just a reminder. In anything, playing small in anything, whether it's this business, whether it's your contribution to society, to your community, your contribution to your family, the way you love. Do you hold yourself back? Do you keep something back because you're afraid to love too much? It really speaks to everything that we do in life, everything about who we are. The world is not served by you playing small. The world needs you in all your bigness and all your largeness and all your abundance. So abundance is kind of a key word for me, and that actually might be my word for 2018, abundance, because that says so much different. That means so much different than success, than money, or it speaks to me it speaks to a quality, abundance, to love abundantly, to live abundantly, to give abundantly, to make an abundant impact in the world. I have abundant potential. I have abundant capabilities. Abundant. That's my word for 2018. So, a couple of other things that he said. He talked about realtors. So, realtors are entrepreneurs, right? 90% of realtors never sell a home. That's pretty crazy. 90% never sell a home. So when you think about, other businesses you could go into besides our business, I see a lot of people going into real estate, into, being a realtor. I mean, there's different ways to go into real estate, but being a realtor is one of the, probably most common, it's probably because the ease of entry. I mean, you don't have to really have money. You got to take tests, you got to get certified or licensed or whatever, but it doesn't take a ton of investment to do that. It just takes some time. But 90% never sell a home. $65,000 is the average investment to start up a business. $65,000 to start up a brick and mortar business. 65. And yet I meet people, who, I talk to people who are thinking about, should I go into beach body? Should I open a gym? Should I do this? Should I do that? And they decide to open the gym. I'm like, oh my gosh, you must have a ton of extra money. If that's their dream, that's their dream. Go after your dream. But here's the other fact. Most businesses fail in the first 5 years. So you've invested your $65,000, that's your initial investment, plus all the additional investment that you're putting into it, and most businesses are going to fail in the first 5 years. So then we get into network marketing. I said 110,000 people in the world. I mean, actually network marketing is probably bigger in other countries than it is here in the United States. I don't know. I think because like in Asian countries, in Europe, I mean, there's companies you haven't even heard of that have been around for long time that have, just tons of distributors and people on the $1 million panel at GoPro. A lot of them, the companies I've not, some of them are companies I haven't even heard of. I'm like, really? Wow. But anyway, so if we get into the statistics with network marketing, out of 100 people that sign up to be a distributor in a network marketing company, 70% are what we call consumers. And that's what we call, I think, discount coaches. They sign up solely for the discount, and every network marketing company, I think, has some kind of a program like that. Whether it's like a preferred customer or a VIP account or something like that. So 70% are going to sign up as discount coaches is what we call them. And a lot of you that are in our group are discount coaches, and we absolutely adore you. I mean, to me, it's like the VIP loyalty program, right? I mean, why not? If you use the products and you love the products, why not get a discount on them? 20% of the people that sign up in network marketing are what he calls social enrollers. So we might call those hobby coaches. He says they typically enroll maybe 1 to 2 people over the course of their, of their business. And those are just like, by accident. Like, oh, my best friend knows I'm a coach and she wants to get the discount too, so she's going to sign up. Or, my mom, she, wants to drink Shakeology, so she's just going to sign up and get a discount. So social enrollers, they're really, they enroll a couple of people, just, kind of because those people ask them to, right? They're not like really going out and building their business. 5% of the people are going to be like really great at retailing the products, or not really great, but they retail the products. So, that might be where a lot of you guys are at too, where, you have people, you might sell a challenge pack here and there, you might sell some Shakeology or some Beachbody on demand. you're not really building a team, right? You're retailing the products. That's 5%. And then 3% are what we call recruiters, which are, they enroll 6 to 9 customers or coaches over their lifetime. 6 to 9. That's 3% of all people that enroll in network marketing. And so those of you that are Emerald coaches or maybe even a diamond coach or something like that, that's where you're at. You're a recruiter. You're building a team. You've built a team. It's not a huge team, but it's a team, right? And then 2%, only 2%. So 2 people out of 100 people are going to be what he calls super recruiters. And he says that's 10 or more coaches that they've enrolled, which the average is 27. So these 2%, these super recruiters bring in 70% of all the enrollees. So if you think about that in coach terms, 2% of coaches, that's at 2 out of 100 coaches that sign up are going to be a super recruiter. And those 2 coaches sign up 70% of all the other coaches. Does that make sense? So that sounds pretty true to what we see in our business. If you look at over 350,000 coaches and you see the amount of coaches that are elite coaches and 5-star, 10-star, 15-star and all that, it's a small percentage. And it's that way in any business, right? Let's say you go into corporate America and you start at a certain level, a certain percentage, there's only a few of those people that start as the marketing coordinator that are going to go up to become the vice president of marketing. There's only probably one. The rest of the people that start at that level, they're going to maybe stay at that level. Maybe they, rise a couple levels. I mean, that's the nature of any kind of a business. That's just the nature of it. So that's kind of an interesting statistic because I know a lot of times we sign up coaches and we feel discouraged because we sign up 2 coaches and we're like, well, none of them are really interested in building a team. Well, statistically, that's probably pretty accurate because those 2 coaches are probably in the 70%. They're going to be, VIP consumers. So you just they kept saying this over, it's a numbers game. And I think that's a very, very, business term. And our company is very relationship and very, it's just, but we're also a business and that's just the way it is, business, it's a numbers game. So let me go to the rest of my notes on this particular subject. So the other reason, so he said, so why is there 70%, are going to be, consumers perhaps? Why do we have these kinds of numbers where really a very, very, very small percentage are going to go on to build a nice business? It's because we have a very small barrier to entry. I mean, when you think about, it's almost like, when you put your money where your mouth is. When you put more money into something, you feel very much more invested in it. It's like, oh wow, I really have to succeed at this because I put all this money into it. And then you think about the brick and mortar business is $65,000 and still most of them fail within 5 years. So, our business has a very low barrier to entry. And so a lot of people, they don't treat their business like a business. And Eric Worre even challenges us. He says, instead of treating your business like a business, treat it like a job. Because a job is something you have to show up to every day, which is a really, really interesting concept because you oftentimes hear us say, treat your business like a business. If you want to be successful as a coach, you got to treat your business like a business. Well, he challenges us. Well, a lot of times when you have a business, like you're the CEO, you think you can slide on a few things. It's like, I don't have a boss. You need to hold yourself to the highest standards that you would hold any other employee, right? And so that's why he says, treat your business like a job. Because for all of you that have jobs, right, you have to show up at your job. Your boss expects you to be there. He expects you to get certain things done. You have expected hours of working. These are not optional. These are not do them if you feel like it. These are not do them if your kids aren't doing something else. This is not do it if you don't have something else. It's not do it if Dancing with the Stars is on. And it's do it. You have to do it. And again, not everybody that's in network marketing wants to take that approach to their business, but for those people that do, that's really a mindset shift, because, we think, oh, the wonderful thing about being network marketing or being our own boss is because we are our own boss. So but you still have to have the discipline that an employee has. And the interesting thing is, I saw it. Where did he put it? This was really important. He says, the thing about being your own boss is it takes work, and most people aren't willing to do work unless someone tells them to. So just think about it. That's where accountability comes into play. I mean, when you think like an employee, if you don't do your work, you have consequences, right? With our Beachbody business, what are the consequences that you have if you don't sit down and do your power hour, if you don't invite today, if you don't consistently do your workouts, if you don't host a challenge group? I mean, what are the consequences if you don't start new conversations and, invite people to be a part of your team? What are the consequences? Well, there's no consequences today. Whereas at your regular job, if you don't show up for work, you could get fired or you could get a disciplinary warning. Whereas if you don't do your expected work for the day, your boss is going to reprimand you. He's going to write you up, right? But with us, it's like, well, if I don't do that today, there's no consequences, right? But every day matters, and that's really what they stressed home with us, is that every day matters. And he encouraged us to think about the lost days. Like, how many lost days do you have? If you're like your own boss and you're like, well, how many lost days do you have where you instead of working, you decided to, take it easy and, binge watch, Orange is the New Black? I've done that. How many, what are the lost days where you sat down to work and you really just kind of, ended up tooling around on Facebook and doing this and the other thing? There's a lot of that. And so that's one of the things I'm going to be holding myself more accountable to, and I have accountability partners to do this, is to make sure I'm not losing time. Not losing time that should be work time. Because my issue is I have all the time in the world, right? My kids are at college, we're empty nesters, I'm my own boss. So, the discipline that it's required to build my business to the next level is immense. It's immense. And holding my own self accountable is not something that I always do a very good job of. So just like we have accountability groups for coaches. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a new coach or you're a 10-star diamond coach. You've got to have that discipline. You've got to have accountabilities. But another thing, let's see what else he talked about. He says, number one, we need to think bigger. The world is not served by you playing small. We need to be stronger. We need to stop letting little things tear us down. We need to stop letting those little things knock us down. Other people's opinions, other people's little snarky comments, somebody telling you no when you were for sure they were going to tell you yes. I sent out 10 invites and nobody took me up on it. I mean, you've got to be stronger. Be stronger and not let these little things knock you down, steal your dreams. And you have to move faster because success loves speed. And he says, stop getting ready to get ready. How many of you are getting ready to get ready? You're working on your like page and you're putting together you ordered these planners and things and you're waiting for those to come in. And, I'm reading all these personal development books and I'm building up my mental mojo. And how many of you are getting ready to get ready? You've got to just jump in. There's things that you need to be doing while you're building up your skills in other areas, but you've got to take action. You've got to move faster. This whole thing about slow and steady wins the race, That may be in some things, but in your business like this, success loves speed, and people, they're watching you. You know, especially when you're a new coach, if you want to build a business, your first 30 days is important because people are watching you. They're wanting to see, okay, so what does she do in these first 30 days? You know, how is she doing this? And could I do it too? You know, and if you tell people you're a new coach and then they don't hear anything about you, for 6 months, while you're getting ready to get ready, while you're working over here doing this and being kind of quiet and getting yourself into shape and all that stuff, I mean, people are being like, didn't she start that like a really long time ago? I didn't even know she was doing that anymore. So that's just really important. He also talks about, the fact that setting proper expectations. So number one, if you succeed in this business, it's because of you. It's not because of me. It's not because of your upline. It's not because of your team. It's because of you. And if you fail, it's because of you. It's not because of me. It's not because of your upline. It's not because of your team. That's a hard thing to swallow, right? That's a hard thing to swallow. Your upline, like me, for instance, I'm your resource, but I'm not your excuse. And the same thing with me. I mean, I can look at, different things in my upline, all the way up. I'm like, But you know what? I succeed based upon what I do, not about what anybody above me does, and not about what you guys do. You can your actions contribute, right? Teamwork makes the dream work, but ultimately I'm the leader. I'm the CEO of my business. I have to take responsibility and accountability for that. If my team's not growing fast enough for the goals that I have set, then I need to find more teammates that have the same mindset as me. It's all about what we do. And so your business will succeed because of you, and it will fail because of you, not anybody else. Got to take accountability, got to have responsibility. Somebody said the really cool thing about responsibility is it's response-able. You are response-able. You are able to respond and to do anything based upon your own choices and your own decisions. So that's pretty cool. That's empowering. The goal ultimately when we bring new coaches on is that you become as independent quickly as possible. So that doesn't mean we want you to fly away. That doesn't mean we want you to leave the tribe. It just means, you as a coach, your goal, my goal, your upline goal, any your sponsor's goal is to help you become as independent as possible so that you truly can be the CEO of your own business, so that you know how to find answers to your questions. So okay, here's where this resource is. I know. So again, a lot of times when I'm training new coaches, I am going to not always tell you the answer, but I'm going to tell you where to find the answer, because I want you to be able to find the answer to the next question you have and the next question you have. So that's just a lot of things about taking accountability and responsibility. But I really love the fact that, and he also says it takes time. It takes time. So, we said success loves speed. It does. But, if you want to get to the place, where I'm at, you're not going to get there overnight. You're not going to get there in 6 months, most likely. There is the exception to that rule, and we have some of them in Beachbody. But typically it's going to take time. And, it takes time to master skills. You should not expect yourself to know everything right now when you first sign up. You should not expect yourself to do everything perfectly. And if you do something, if you do a post and I come at you and say, hey, I saw that post and, here's some recommendations. It's not negative criticism for you. It's constructive, right? And you take that and say, okay, I'm learning from that. Okay, good. Next time I'll know. I look back on some of the posts I did in 2011 when I first signed up as a coach, and I wish somebody would have told me, like, that is not the way to do it. I learned over time, but I mean, again, my job, your sponsor's job, is to help expedite your learning process. So that's what I learned. That's kind of my first download for you. I hope it was good. I hope you took some notes. If you want to rewatch this, I would really suggest that you do that, because this was, money stuff. This is money stuff. So have a good day, you guys. I'm going to go grocery shopping because we have no food. And I love you, and keep dreaming big. And remember, the world is not served by you playing small. Love you guys.